In this session, what I really want to do is I want to completely crack the way you see money. Okay. And after this session, what I would really suggest is to carve out your money ritual. Okay. Because what I have realized over so many years of working on the idea of money, manifesting, and all those things, that we want to change our perception of money. And that is not something you can just do in one day. That is a constant journey of changing our perception about money. Now, when we do that, the more we shift the perception, the more it manifests different in our physical, right? The way we were brought up with money, the things we were told were insanely crazy. And I'm going to show you in this session, you'll have huge breakthroughs. Like, be ready for all the big shaking up that I'm going to shake you guys. Okay. And you will actually realize, and the way it's going to work is that as you start to have those breakthroughs, they would literally feel like a fireball, like ice ball on your head. You'll be like, whoa, oh my God, I get that. The more you have those shifts, the more you will start to see money differently, and the more money will come. Okay. So this session is a introspection to change your relationship with money forever. And we will end this with a beautiful ritual. And I would love for you guys to continue with that ritual, because the more you do it, the more you will have a completely evolved relationship. So let's think of a scenario where everybody today says, every single person on this planet says, the money that I have in the bank, I want to take it out. I want to see. I want to hold it. I want to see it in the physical. So whatever money you have in the bank, every single person decides to take it out. What's going to happen? The economy will crash. There will be no money, because the money that you see in your bank account, right? Yes, theoretically you can take it out, but it doesn't even exist. Like, if everybody decides to take their money out, it's not possible, because there is no money there. So let's think of now somebody paying somebody something. Okay. So somebody's paying somebody, for the car, or buying something, or a handbag, or a watch. You all of a sudden see the money leaves your bank account and goes to the other bank. Does it happen physically, or is just digitally the numbers have changed, right? So what we realize is that this whole concept of money is not real. It's an idea. It's an idea that is reflected in your bank account. So when we say money is a spiritual idea, that is true. In the physical world, the money that we see on the screens, there is no money backing it in the physical world. It doesn't exist. It's all a spiritual idea. You see, and this person has this much money. They have just circulated this much money. They have bought this, and this money has gone into this account. This money has come here. The way money is circulating on this planet right now, it's a spiritual idea. It's circulating from this place to the next in numbers, in digits. There is no such thing as physical. So when we understand that, what we realize is that we can hold a different idea, because even now there is nothing physical behind it. It's just a spiritual idea. Now, in order to make things more complex, somebody decided to introduce Bitcoin and said, I'm going to make this coin, or I'm going to have this coin, and there will be a monetary value to it. Who decides that? Somebody randomly decided this thing is going to have a value. Is it real? Is it true? No. Bitcoin has a value what people perceive it should be. Then somebody said we will have crypto. What is it? It's people what they're perceiving. So actually, what is money? What in truest sense is money? It's a perception you tie to something equals to money. Perception you tie to Bitcoin, perception you tie to your bank account, perception you tie to your worth, your value, perception you tie to crypto, perception you tie to other things is reflected in the form of money. Because when somebody came up with this coin, before that, 2 seconds ago, it had no value, it didn't even exist. And all of a sudden, it's worth this much money. How? Perception. People perceived it to be valuable, it became valuable, started trading in the market, now it has a value. A company doesn't exist, and then it exists, and then it starts working, and then it has stocks. And then people buy them. All of a sudden, those stocks who never existed now have a value. Who decides that? Is there a physical thing? Is there a real thing? No, it's an idea. Something doesn't exist, and all of a sudden it comes on the face of the planet, and now it has a monetary value. So what is money? It is energetic exchange. It's energy. It's an idea. It's a thought. It's a perception behind something. That's what money is. It's a perception. So when you think of money as a perception, why can't we hold a better idea? If somebody can come up with Bitcoin and people start perceiving it a certain value, and then it trades in a certain value, and now it's a established thing, it's working, why can't we come up with a different idea about our value, about our worth, about us, about our bank account? What that actually trying to control us in the physical is not even real. And that is the whole problem. It's not real. So when you're looking at your bank account, you're saying, oh my God, I've got this much money. It's an idea. It's not real. And yes, somebody who's really struggling financially, if you tell them that, they will be really upset with you, because what are you talking about? Like, I have these problems. But actually, you can change an idea. You can change the idea of yourself, your worth, your value. But the real reason when it happens is when you stop putting money on the pedestal, when you stop giving it so much importance as if it's your physical reality, because it's not. The whole way this world is operating it, people are perceiving things in a certain way, and they tie it a value, an energetic exchange value. Why is it that Chanel decides we want to charge $10,000 for this bag? What is so physical about that? Nothing. That's energetic value. So the way money originates is somebody perceives something in a certain way, holds that perception, and that perception manifests through their body. That means they act accordingly and they attract accordingly. This is what money is. This is how money actually came on this planet. Everything that was built on the idea, on the perception of somebody, whether it's stocks, whether it's Bitcoin, whether it's the bank account, whether it's exchange, everything. And that gives us the power to hold a different idea. If that's how it works anyway, if somebody opens a company and starts trading and decides this is the stock market because people are perceiving that way, then why can't we change our perception about ourselves? Why can't we change the perception about our work, about our worth, about our art, about our craft? If that's how it's working anyway in the entire planet. So money equal perception manifested through actions, manifested through what they command, their prices, what they ask for, the value they provide, the value people are willing to exchange. It's all perception. And when you hold a different idea, your life changes. There is nothing physical about that. There is nothing 3D about that. It's all the mind. That's how everything starts. That's how Bitcoin started. It's a prime example. If it was physical money, how on earth we allowed Bitcoin to come on this planet? Because it was nothing 2 seconds ago. And then a change in perception made it something huge. And people made billions from a change of perception to a coin. Okay? So now let's look at how we can tap into a bigger idea of money. And I have done these practices before, and there was a time when I stopped doing those practices. And let me tell you this, if you keep doing this, your relationship with money will completely change. You will never see money again the same way. If somebody talks to you about lack, you would think it's a joke. It's a freaking joke. You would just not acknowledge it. Like it will be so deep down rooted in you that you will not stand any kind of lack if you keep doing what I'm telling you. And these are the things. The first thing what we really want to understand is that we have been told about lack over and over again. This is the price. This is the budget. We have to budget. We can't afford that. We have to think about this. So the key to really change this perception and plug into the bigger idea is by looking at the circulation of money, going to places where big amount of money is the norm. It's not, nobody's gonna tell you that. Nobody's gonna make it normal and natural for you. You will have to do that. You will have to go to those places. You will have to make the conscious effort to be around where a lot of money is being circulated, to be in those places, to be in those environments, because those environments have a completely different energy. They are operating with a completely different idea of money. There is no such thing as lack. Like if you take an ocean and if you make a hole in the ocean, does it make a difference? Can you see the hole afterwards? No, because there is no lack. So when you start to go to the places like around you, find rich neighborhoods where there are really nice shops, where there is posh hotels, where you can see a lot of money being circulated, skyscrapers or big money being circulated, and start looking and seeing, what do these people think about money? How is money being circulated? Why is it that it's so easy for these places to circulate such big money every single day? And the more you do it, you normalize big sums of money being circulated around you. That will be the norm. That will be normal. That's not a big deal. That's how you will start to plug into the big idea, that you can start to give it big perception. That's when you will be comfortable to charge more for your work. You will be comfortable to receive more, hold more. I see it often with so many people, like, I want to serve other people, but if I charge more, I'm not really serving. But if you charge more, you're serving. Because if you don't charge more, people won't do the work. Been there, done that. People don't do the work. So if you are not charging more, you are disserving people. Because where money flows, people perceive things differently. Money is perception. Why is it that Bitcoin is a higher value? Because people are perceiving it differently. The moment somebody makes a statement, or some politician or something, what happens? The share prices go down. Somebody does something. Why? Because all people do is they shift perception, money changes. So when we start to perceive our work as valuable, perceive our clients as valuable, I want you to hold your value when you pay me, so that you put in the work and I reflect my value. It's an energetic exchange. And in order to perceive money differently, we have to see the abundance and overflow, because we have been in front of lack way too long. We have been fed with this idea for way too long. But you can change it really, 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 really fast. Expose yourself to where big sums of money is. If your family or the people think you're crazy, doesn't matter. Go to those places by yourself. Hang around in those shops. Hang around in those places. Okay? The other really, really, really important thing when it comes to changing your perception is always focusing on the feeling of having and putting money off the pedestal. So just because if your bank account says a different number, it's the game of perception. It doesn't mean anything about your worth. Like, I was having one-to-one with my client, and he said this to me, and this is the same breakthrough that I had after cracking the wealth code, that you don't change as a person. In fact, you don't change anything about you. You will be the exact same person. The only thing that'll change is your beliefs about you, the way you see you. So there is no big transformation happen for you to start cracking this or making it work. No, just stop believing that. Wanting a big transformation or wanting a change about you is the problem, because nothing needs to change. That's the whole problem. You are successful right now. All it needs is changing the perception. Like somebody created a perception about Bitcoin, and all of a sudden that is the hottest thing on the planet. Can't we be the hottest thing on the planet if we change our perception about ourselves? It's internal perception. So taking money off the pedestal. It's a spiritual idea. It's an idea in the mind manifested in the physical. There is nothing physical about that. In the paperless economies, there is way nothing physical about that. It's all the change in the numbers based on the value and based on the perception. And you can start to see yourself as a highly valuable person today. Why? Because you were born that way. Why? Because that's your birthright. Why? Because that's who you really are. So put yourself on the pedestal, not money. What we realize is when you have a lot of money, that actually you have always been worthy. Nothing has changed. You're not more important or not more valuable. You're nothing, any of that. You're the same person. So what I want you to do is I want you to scream out on the planet like, I am the same person. Nothing has changed about me. But yeah, I see myself differently. So even when you are charging and you have this feeling like, oh, am I doing the right thing? Of course you're doing the right thing, because that's how this world works. You are energetically exchanging, and money is just a perception and the numbers on the board. And if you're not changing properly, you're disrupting the system. So if you're saying, I want to give everything, but I don't want to charge more, you're just disrupting the system. You're disrupting the whole universal system. And what is a reflection of your perception of you? Because if somebody, I don't know if you guys heard of this painting, which was like a banana on the wall, and it was sold for millions and millions and millions. And my kids were like, Mom, what was in that painting? What banana stuck with a tape? But that's perception. Somebody perceived that painting as multi-million-dollar painting, and they paid for it. So when we are saying, I feel bad to charge more, it's your perception. Oh, I cannot give back and charge. You can only give back when you charge. Because if you give it for free, nobody's going to perceive it that way. So if that person would have got that painting for free, that banana would have been destroyed. It would be in the dustbin. So if you want to give back, please charge. Don't disrupt the system. It's based on the perception. It's based on the value. It's the number on the screen based on the value. And the number constantly change as you energetically exchange more. So giving, you can give back a lot of value, because if you think about money and so on, you can be a trillionaire. And if there is no exchange of value, there is nothing to buy. Let's say you're stuck in an island and there's nothing you can buy. Nothing. There's nothing there. And you are a trillionaire. What's going to happen? What will money do to you? Nothing. So it's the exchange. Exchange of perception, exchange of value. So if you're exchanging charge, there is no need to associate money with being good. No. You don't be good when you charge less. In fact, you try to be good and you try to seek validation and you try to seek, oh, you're such a good person. And then those people don't put in any work. And you start to question, are my programs not good? Like, why? And then you find somebody who pay full price and they do all the work and they have incredible results, and you wonder, oh, because I wasn't seeing the value of my work, the people I attracted, they were not seeing the value, they didn't pay, they didn't do the work. And I reinforced my own lack of value. I'm not doing that. There is infinite for everybody, and everybody can pay if they hold a different idea. And by charging, you help them change their perception. Because if you don't charge, you are creating this, you are actually reproducing this thing of lack. That I don't charge, I am in lack. You don't charge, you're in lack. You don't charge, you don't lack. So everybody's in lack. There's a whole train of lack. We don't do that. The money is infinite. Everybody can pay it because it's perception anyway. It's an idea. Hold the idea of your worth in your mind. That's the only way it will manifest by law. Hold the belief that I am valuable. My work is valuable. And when you hold it, it will manifest it. If you wonder, you will attract people who will wonder. And then really focusing on the fact that there is nothing more that will make you successful. You are very successful right now. You will not be more successful when you have more money. You are successful right now. When you compound the energy of success and more success and more success and more success, you become a match for more. So you are successful right now. And if you really ask your mind, how am I successful right now? It will give you all the answers. The problem is we never ask. We ask, what do I need to do to be successful? And the mind's like, okay, that's what you want to know? I'll tell you that. When you have this shift in perception, you become the new Bitcoin. The world changes its perception about you. The world meets you there. How can the world meet you there if you don't even meet yourself there, if you're not willing to meet yourself there? So shifting your perception about you, working on it every day, asking yourself, what am I really thinking about me? If you realize you're taking action but your energy is dipping, stop. Please don't take action. Please don't try to make up for the feminine receiving by just covering through more actions. Please don't do that. The other thing which is really, really powerful is the compound effect. When you desire the things that you have got already. So if you have got kids, desiring having kids, like falling in love with the idea of having kids, when you see them, you desire them as if you just manifested them now. When you have a partner, desiring that partner, not like, now that I've got you in my life, yeah, what else? You are there, don't worry, you're there. No, desiring that person, desiring that house that you once desired, still desiring that, still falling in love with that. Because then what happens is the things that you want and the things that you have are on the same frequency on the desire frequency. So as you're desiring them, as you're having them, they come in faster because the desire has a compound effect. I'm desiring the things I have. And because I'm desiring the things I don't have in the physical, but they're in the same thread, I'm going to attract them with the frequency of desire and having. So falling in love with the frequency of having what you have. Still desiring that. Still, if you drink a really nice coffee in the morning, first after waking up, visualize having that coffee. And then have that coffee, because actually you have manifested that coffee. It's not, oh, but I drink it every day. Yeah, you manifest it every day. So working from desire, working from the place of I have it, I get to enjoy it, and I'm desiring more. But from my heart so full. The other thing which is really, really important when it comes to manifesting money is working from the idea of having so much money. So one thing that has really helped me and some of my clients, like if you can have your life mapped out, when you have that money, how does your life look like? If you want to do it in a very practical, physical way, you can have different, different prompts. How would my house be? How would my life be? How would I shop? How would I show up? How would I live my life? What is my morning routine? What kind of things I do? And you start to work from that idea. You start to work from that place. That means as I am moving from that place, I'll do this, I'll buy that. You start to see yourself. You start to change your perception and build that idea. And then the world meets you there. So let's say you're driving your car, but you would love to manifest a different car. You can drive your car, but feel like you're in the different car. And if you don't know what it feels like, go and test drive that car. You know what it feels like. I've recorded the noise of that car. So when I'm driving my actual car, sometimes I play that noise. And it's so good. And if it's the home, start creating different scenarios. Go and drive in that home. Go. If there is a place you can watch, like you can have like a house visit or something, like with a realtor or estate agent, go and do that. Let them show you the house. Sit there, create memories there. One thing I was telling my other client is that the more you can physically get closer to that experience, the faster it's going to happen. So if you can go and start living there, if you can go and start doing those things, but working from that idea, mentally rehearsing those, mentally start rehearsing, start talking to yourself from that place, from that idea is really, really powerful. The other thing, which is really important, and this is the final piece, is plugging into the compounding effect of your value. If you constantly focus on one thing and every single day come from the energy that I am the greatest in that, I am the world class, whatever that is, and you constantly evolve from that energy, literally within months, you will be incredible and you will be attracting so much money. So if I give you an example, let's say that you want to do a webinar, right? Or you want to do a masterclass, or you want to do something, and you operate from the energy and you keep mentally rehearsing that I'm the world class at this. I'm a world-class person at this. Right now, maybe nobody show up to your life, or maybe 5 people show up, but you operate from the energy that there are 10,000 people there. If you operate from that energy, you will attract those people. But the key is for you to hold that energy now. Not that, oh, it's just few people, I'm going to do it then, and when more people will there, I'll do. No, you hold that energy. That is your truth. You hold that energy, you show up as that person, you mentally rehearse that person, you feel the feeling. So often what I do is when I'm doing something very key towards my manifestation, I pause and I plug into that vision. And then I start taking action from that energy. Again, it's the perception, it's that energy that is pulling in. And what you realize is with manifestation, you will not see like, okay, you did this and this came, you did this and this came. It's more like it will constantly be cooking. It will constantly be in the heat, in the energy. Oh my God, without actually planning to buy it. We got a huge, what's that? huge discount offered in the end, and the owner wanted us to buy it, and instead of all the others that has already paid. Oh, wow! Isn't it crazy? Isn't it? See, so even with this, you can hold your vision, start living in that house, start seeing yourself. And look, one side of you will say, what if it doesn't happen? So what? You are fine. You are perfectly fine right now. But what if it does happen? What if it does happen? So we touch our manifestations from a very light touch energy. This is really important. When you try to start forcing it, you cause resistance. It's like, think about holding something, right? If I'm holding something and I'm pressing it and I'm really holding on to it, I'm gonna damage it. But if I'm holding it like light touch, I'm just holding it. It's a very light touch. It's fun because where we are is perfect, but we can have more. So I love this. I love this. If you want to organize some visit and tell that owner, can I be here for half an hour by myself or a few hours by myself? Take your family there. Sit on the table as if you're having a family meal. Like, spend time there and you see how money comes. Money is never the issue. It's the perception in the mind. It's the idea in the mind. Okay? So do that and you see how you manifest it. We are all holding that image for you. Okay? So the key is, the final piece of this piece is that the value. I am a very valuable person and I hold myself the highest vision of what I'm becoming. And when you operate from that energy and even do normal things, like let's say you post anyway, you go live anyway, or you do something for your business anyway, or maybe there is some other action that you do. If you hold that energy, it's not what you do, but who you are when you do it. So pausing and calibrating to that energy, it's super important. Keep bringing that vision and calibrating to that energy. Anytime you do something, bring that vision back. So I'm going to repeat the things that I said. The first thing, what we want to look at is being in those environments where a lot of money is being circulated. Like what I do every week, I go and just roam around in the city in central London, like really, really central. And all the like Knightsbridge, Mayfair, Chelsea, all the places where there is crazy amount of money circulating. And can I think of lack when I go there? No, there's no lack. Nothing is lack. So the more I do that, the more I give my mind the stimulation to constantly stay on that vibe. We can get our mind to be disciplined and think abundant and all of that, but if you inject the outside, and you have the double and triple effect. So it's really important to not constantly force ourselves, but sometimes give ourselves the abundance to think from. So the more you do that, the easier it gets. Okay. The other thing, what we want to do is we want to focus on the desiring what we have and desiring what we don't have, both on the same frequency, not taking for granted what we have already, not saying, oh yeah, that's fine, that's not a big deal anymore. Still desiring, still wanting what we have. Taking money off the pedestal and realizing our value. That is really important. Okay. And working from the idea. So the biggest downfall, what most people have is we don't live in our imagination enough. So observe yourself throughout the day. How am I living in my imagination? What I do is I listen to the music that brings me in that picture. Every song brings me in a different image. So as my playlist go on and on, I have all the images of my life. The perfume reminds me of that. My this scarf reminds me of, like, everything is reminding me of that vision. So where else am I going? Nowhere. Like everything is bringing me back to that place. Okay. So get your outside so strong that everything is reminding you of that. And then the other thing which is really important is holding your value. You are already what you're meant to be. The biggest problem is we think we are not. So if you're meant to be the greatest coach, you already are. If you're meant to be whatever you want, the greatest entrepreneur, you already are. If you operate from that energy, whatever you do will be excellent. Will have that vibe, like, whoa, you know that feeling when you're like, this is out of this world. Bring that vibe in everything you do. It's not about doing more things. It's about doing things in a certain way. Okay. And the key thing that brings all of these things together is keeping the heat on. And this is really important. When you think of your vision, think of your boiling a kettle, and that kettle is changing its form. Okay, it's changing its form and becoming and bringing your thing to the physical. Now, if you take the heat off and if you unplug the heat, you will stop the compound effect. And then you will have to turn the heat back on to get to that temperature, and then the temperature starts compounding. But if you never take the heat off, that means it's constantly boiling and boiling. A point will come and it will start compounding. So the heat half an hour ago will make it boil even harder and harder and harder. So you won't have to work harder, but the energy that is compounding in your vision will actually create the quantum, the exponential effect. That's when illogical things, crazy manifestations become the norm. That's when it's like, whoa, what has it created? Like I couldn't imagine that's how it could have been. But what you do is you compound the heat. And how do we unplug the heat? We unplug the heat when we start to have negative self-talk. Nothing is working for me. Look, how can I change that? Everything is so slow. It's taking forever. I don't know, what am I doing wrong? What am I missing? You just took the heat off. And now you haven't lost anything, but when you put the heat back on, you have to get it to warm and bring the compound effect again. So the compound effect, that means previous heat, really increasing more heat, and it's all doubling and multiplying, that stops. So the key here is, when you're not feeling so good, when you're feeling a bit lower, you're disappointed, or there is something contrast, just take care of yourself. Allow yourself to feel the pain. What 95% people do is they try to avoid the pain. And in order to avoid the pain, they start to judge themselves. What is wrong with me? Why am I doing that? I shouldn't be feeling this way. Why my energy is going down? Why I'm having this thought? I'm such a negative person. I always think negative. Everything is slow in my life. Nothing is working. And before you know it, you are the worst parent, you're the worst person, you're the worst partner, everything is wrong, everything is bad. That's the compound of negative. Instead of judging yourself, instead of forcing yourself to feel high or good, just be with yourself like a child. Like if your child was sad, you wouldn't say to them, what is wrong with you? You're such a negative person. You're always crying. What is wrong now? Why are you doing that? Go away. What would we do? We'd say, let me give you a hug. Let me take care of you. Let me be with you. It's okay to be scared. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay to feel nervous. It's fine. Yeah, you're doing incredible things. Of course, you will be scared. It's okay. Let's be scared. And the moment you allow it, it leaves your body. It gets processed. So always think of this example like, do I have the heat on? Or do I took the kettle off? If you keep the heat on, even when things are a bit contrast, because that is also the bridge of incidence, that's also the things that need to happen for you to manifest, you realize how fast you manifest things. You realize how quickly, because now you're not trying to heat it up again, build the inertia, like start the process again, force it again. You're just working on the compound. It's naturally happening. So what I realized was, I just asked myself, is the heat on? Yeah. The kettle is still on. Perfect. It's compounding. Even when you're sleeping, it's compounding. It's constantly compounding for you. Everything is working for you, even when it doesn't feel like it's working. And normally with the bridge of incidence and the way things show up, it all of a sudden you'll see that and you're like, whoa, like it happened with Nina. Like you just saw this house and you're like, whoa. But you know how long it was cooking? How long it was in the kettle? No. But it just happens, and then it happens, and then it happens, and then it happens. And before you know it, you're there. Okay? So that's how it works. So keep the heat on. And if, for some case, you turn the heat off, please don't beat yourself up. Go back on the heat as fast as you can. That means processing. Process. You can process while the heat is on. You don't have to turn it off. You only turn it off when you give it opposite meaning. That's when the heat goes off. Otherwise, it never goes off. Okay? Does anybody have any questions before we finish? No? Perfect. Okay. So I'll put the recording up and I'll see you guys. Take care. Thank you.